YouTube, what is going on, man? We've got a new video for you today. Today we're going to be talking about why being a white belt in jiu-jitsu sucks, but is also awesome. There are definitely pros and cons to being a white belt in jiu-jitsu, and that's what this video is going to cover. In the last couple months, we've been doing really good as far as channel growth goes. We've got 155 subscribers. My last video was literally talking about how we just got to 100 subscribers, so that's all thanks to you guys. I appreciate you liking the videos, watching the videos, subscribing to the channel, and supporting me in making jiu-jitsu content because I like it. And I hope that you guys like it too. So with that being said, if at any point during this video you like the video, like the video. Thank you. Now let's get into it. Alright, the first thing we gotta talk about as far as why being a white belt sucks in jiu-jitsu is the fact that literally almost everyone around you in the class is better than you. You're all learning the same moves, you're all doing the same movements in class, and yet they've been doing them longer, and so you're on the bottom of the totem pole. The difference in skill between being a white belt and a blue belt is enormous. And compound that with the difference in skill between being a white belt and a black belt. If you're one of the newer people in the class, it's gonna feel insurmountable, and that's normal. Following up on that brings us to our second reason why being a white belt in jiu-jitsu sucks, and that's that you get smashed a lot. I've alluded to this in other videos if you watch some of my other content, but basically, when you're new, you lose a lot. You get smashed, and it's uncomfortable, it's difficult, it's hard, and that sucks, all right? Especially if you're smaller. This is a Little Jitsu channel, so I'm assuming a lot of you guys are smaller or possess certain disadvantages as far as athleticism, size, strength, whatever. And that means that the getting smashed is even worse when you're a white belt. So I feel your pain. The third and final reason why being a white belt in jiu-jitsu sucks is that every single day you go to class, there's new information thrown at you. There's a new move, a new position, a new submission. There's something brand new every day that you're learning. This is obviously a generality. Everybody teaches class and curriculums and systems differently, but ultimately it doesn't matter where you go. As a white belt, a lot of new information is going to be thrown at you. Even just the warm-ups are going to be difficult, and this is going to feel really overwhelming at first, but that's normal. Don't be concerned by that. You are still learning, regardless of whether or not you can remember the move you learned yesterday or not. Cool, so we've gotten past the bad sides and the sucky parts about being a white belt in jiu-jitsu. Let's talk about the benefits and why being a white belt is actually really cool. Number one, there are no expectations. You can go and roll with anyone in the gym, and if you get smashed, if your coach is watching, they're not going to be disappointed in you or surprised or anything. And whoever you're rolling with, if they smash you, they're not surprised either because they've been doing it longer. That's the normal hierarchy of doing rounds with brand new people. No expectations. So that's definitely an advantage you need to enjoy as a white belt because it's not going to last forever. Going along with that, with no expectations, you also don't have to be wondering or worrying about other students in the gym looking at your jiu-jitsu and trying to improve their own jiu-jitsu. That's a high standard to hold yourself to, and as a white belt, you don't have that, so you can just focus on yourself, focus on your own techniques and learning what you are taught in class, and you can be entirely selfish about your jiu-jitsu journey as a white belt and not have to worry about anyone else asking you questions or expecting you to help them learn how to move or anything like that. So that's awesome. The second pro or benefit of being a white belt is the fact that, and we kind of talked about this as a negative, but as a positive, the fact that you're learning something new every day and never get bored is one of the coolest things about being a white belt because you're not gonna get stale. Oh my gosh, I did not realize this until I started getting up into the higher colored belts, blues and purples, is the fact that when you compete, as a white belt, you have the highest possible likelihood of having a big bracket, which means multiple matches in a tournament. As you get up into your colored belts, as you move into your colored belts, into blue, purple, as you get older, it's harder and harder to find people in your same size, age, and skill level divisions. So as a purple belt, for example, in the 145 pound division, I'm a pretty small guy and I'm a below average size-wise, weight-wise male. And so a majority of people don't even make it to purple belt. The small people that were training jiu-jitsu as a white belt and blue belt and competing with me are may or may not be competing anymore as a purple belt, which means if I compete and the few that are training decided not to sign up for that tournament, I don't have any matches and I get moved up in skill or I get moved up in weight, both of which can be kind of a bummer, especially if you cut weight or we're preparing, specific game plans based on your size. Another awesome part about being a white belt is that your promotions, or not promotions, but your stripes feel like such accomplishments. I remember the first stripe that I got on my white belt, and it was a complete surprise. I was just sitting there in class. We were bowing out after, a hard night of rounds, and I still thought I sucked at jiu-jitsu. I definitely did still suck at jiu-jitsu, but my coach at that point in my jiu-jitsu journey decided that I was ready for my first stripe, and he called my name, and I was like appalled. I was so surprised that it was time for me to get a stripe, and I'll never forget that feeling of accomplishment. Even though I knew I was still getting smashed by everybody, that first stripe seemed like such a milestone to me, and I honestly haven't had that feeling since, even getting promoted to blue or purple. That first stripe felt amazing, and I think that's probably why a lot of people make their, just got a one stripe on my white belt, Instagram post or whatever. I really felt accomplished when I got it, and that's a feeling I've never gotten since, so that's a really cool part about being a white belt. The last thing I'm going to say about being a white belt, guys, is that when you're a white belt, you can look to pretty much everyone in the gym as a knowledgeable resource about jiu-jitsu. Obviously, anyone with a higher rank than you, blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, black belt, you can look to anyone in the gym and know that if you ask them a question, they're probably at least going to give you somewhat of a knowledgeable answer, and they'll want to help you. That's what's cool about getting better at jiu-jitsu and, training jiu-jitsu, is that everyone around you wants you to get better, because as you get better, it helps the level of the gym improve. Everyone wants to help each other, and that's one thing that I really find beneficial or positive about the whole culture and jiu-jitsu environment. As a white belt, literally everyone around you can help you. That's not the case as you get better, so enjoy that. With all that being said, people, thank you for watching this video. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to drop a like. Alright, perfect. I'm sure you liked the video, and if you guys enjoy my content, hit the subscribe button. It makes me want to continue making more content. Also, if you guys have any ideas for content in the future, put that in the comments below, because I'm definitely taking your feedback, and I want to answer all of you in the comments. I want to, interact with you, so shoot them down below. Appreciate you guys watching. Go and train.